Standing By. The Terry and Ted podcast is brought to you by the UPS Store Canada. Now with over 400 locations across Canada.
Another edition of the Standing By podcast. I'm Terry DeMonte. That's Ted Bird. It's Wednesday, September the 17th. Are you trying to...
Yeah,
I thought you were trying to cheers. You're
Steven
trying to get...
Spielberg.
trying to get the mug on coffee. On coffee?
I was trying to get the mug on coffee.
Yeah, there you go. And coffee standing by?
We are so hammered.
Mm-hmm. I tell you, we got to stop day drinking.
Yeah. Well, the sun's up over the yard arm somewhere.
Thanks for joining us for another episode. The episode, of course, brought to you by our title sponsor, the good people at the UPS Store Canada, who can solve a lot of your problems. Not any of your personal problems, mind you, but if you run a small business, for example, and you're tired of stuff showing up at your house, or you're tired of shipping stuff out of your house for your small business, you can go to the UPS Store and get yourself a mailbox. Pick up your mail, pick up your packages. They can look after that. They can box things up for you if you've got to move. If you've got to send something across the country, they'll find you a nice container, and they'll find you those, what do you call those popcorn?
Packing peanuts.
Packing peanuts that Ted loves to snack on.
Oh, boy. Especially when I'm watching baseball. They just go hand in hand, baseball and packing peanuts.
The UPS Store Canada has over 400 locations across the country. And I think they're a proud sponsor of the Standing By podcast.
I think they are, too. If they weren't, they wouldn't keep coming back.
Yeah, and Ted has a favorite location on the island of Parrots. You drop by to see Mr. Liverman every once in a while.
Jason Liverman.
Yeah, and you call him the other name. What do you call him by? You call him Brad.
I call
you?
him Brad.
Yeah.
Brad's his brother, and I keep getting them mixed up. But you know what they say, if you've seen one Liverman, you've seen them all.
If you need a passport picture, if you need a new mailbox, if you need packing tape, if you need boxes, if you need some help with a small business, you can go to their website and read their business blog. The UPS Stores Canada can handle it. And again, over 400 locations across the country. Now, just before we get into the loopy part of the podcast, I called Ted last night and I said, I want to get this off my chest. Pardon me. And I thought, how do I get this off my chest? And every week when I'm thinking that, I think, wait a minute, we have a podcast. So I'm just going to get it off my chest. I'm not approaching this from a political point of view. We don't talk politics. I was horrified, mortified, and saddened by the dancing on the grave that went on this past week. The ghoulish behavior of so many people on my social media feed. I spent a good part of the day, Thursday and Friday, blocking people. If you've sent me a Facebook friend request over the last couple of years, stand by because I have room now. I cannot understand, after the execution of a young man and young father on a university campus in plain sight of thousands of people,
including his wife and children,
then have that broadcast across the world. I will never be able to unsee the video that I saw. And I didn't like Charlie Kirk. I didn't follow Charlie Kirk. I spent no time on a Charlie Kirk website. But I was horrified and mortified by the killing and the murder, the execution of a young man. And the dancing on the grave, the celebration of the death, was not only repulsive to me, but it was frightening to me, because it indicates to me the fraying of society. When you can dance on the grave of a young man just because you don't agree with his politics, I think you have to look in the mirror. I think it's ghoulish behavior beyond the pale. And I don't want to talk about right and left, and we don't want to talk about politics, but the celebration of the murder of anybody is a bad sign for society. And I don't want to interact with people that do that. Whether you celebrated the murder of Robert Kennedy in 1968, there was no social media back then, or you celebrated the murder of, anybody. It was stunning to me. I was stunned. I get that we're polarized and that there's a lot of politics in the world, but I just don't know how you can countenance that kind of behavior. I can't. So if you can't see my Facebook feed anymore, that's why. I just needed to get that off my chest.
The dancing on the grave says more about the people doing the dancing than it does about Charlie Kirk. And I'm like you. I knew who he was.
Yeah, me. Yeah.
His videos would pop up on my Facebook timeline every now and again. I would watch them. And now they're everywhere.
Yeah.
It's ubiquitous now. And what I've noticed is that whether you agreed with his position or not, Charlie Kirk encouraged face-to-face debate. He was not on social media debating people. He was taking his message to university campuses where his detractors far outweighed his admirers, and he was continually encouraging people to engage in civil and respectful debate. And that's what he did.
Yeah.
Whether you agreed with him or not, he was overwhelmingly, if not entirely, civil and respectful in how he debated people. And he would encourage people who disagreed with him to step up to the microphone, and he would engage them. And I think that he's being mischaracterized and in some cases dehumanized when you talk about the dancing on the grave. Yeah. But at least the ghouls and the demons are being exposed. And it was also encouraging to me that overwhelmingly, at least in my social media algorithm, the number of people who were saying, this is awful, this is terrible, this is wrong,
I think
far outnumbered the number of people who said he deserved to die.
Yeah, I think the majority of people are in the camp of, I didn't like that man, but that's very sad.
But you know what? I think even if you have to say, I didn't agree with him, but you're telling me something about yourself.
Yeah.
Why can't it just be wrong that a young man was murdered in front of his family and thousands of people for his opinions?
Yeah.
If you have to qualify with that with, I didn't agree with him, but you're being disingenuous, I think.
Anyway, I like I said, we don't talk politics. I don't think we've spoken politics. I want to talk about humanity.
Yeah, it's about the cultural, the fraying
the fraying of society. Yeah. When you refer to a murder victim as a human fountain, there's something wrong with society. Okay, we'll see you next week. No, I
think it was important to address the elephant in the room, even though we go out of our way to say this is not a political podcast. And I don't think we talked politics there. We were talking about where we're at as a society, culturally and as a society.
I worry about that. I don't worry. I don't lie up at night worrying about that. But when I see these kinds of things, like I'm still on X or Twitter, and Twitter used to be once in a while a fun thing to look at.
Well, it still can be.
Well, I find it now mostly a political sewer.
Well, it is mostly a political sewer.
It is the number one site for rage farming.
Yeah.
And I read an interesting piece this week, and I don't remember where. I think it might have been the New York Times or somebody online, or maybe I dreamed it. Somebody said, rage is the new sex. Remember when sex sold everything? Mm-hmm. Now it's rage sells everything online. Now, let's veer off that road and ask you if you're okay after watching the Giants blow another game.
I'm going to New York this coming weekend to see the Giants.
Yes.
To see the 0-2 Giants against the 0-2 Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes.
Who were in the Super Bowl last year.
They don't look good.
And they don't look good. So what was encouraging to me about the Giants this week is at least they competed. They were awful in week 1. They sucked.
Yeah.
They stunk the joint out. Yeah. They were competitive this week. They should have won that game, but they found a way to blow it. And I knew they were going to blow it. Blow it. Terry texted me.
It was my fault.
Yeah.
I felt like it was
no, it
my
wasn't
fault.
Your fault. After the Giants took the lead late in the game, Terry texted me and said, "Are you watching the Giants? This is a fun game." And I said, "Yeah, and I know they're in the lead, but there's plenty of time left for them to crush my spirit," which they did.
And I think there was 2 minutes left at that point.
Well, that 2 minutes with the Giants, that's like 3 hours.
Nice father-son trip coming up, though.
Yeah, I'm
Manhattan,
going with Sam to see the Giants. And Sam said to me, "What do you want to do on Saturday night?" The game is on Sunday night.
Yeah.
It's primetime Sunday night. He said, "What do you want to do Saturday night? You want to go to a show?" And I said, "No." I've been to Broadway. I went to Les Miserables. And I think at about the 2 hour and 30-minute mark, I thought to myself, the French Revolution didn't take this long.
Not a live theater fan then, eh?
No. I've done it now. I've been there, done that. Been to a Broadway show. I don't want to be indoors in Manhattan, and it's going to be nice this weekend.
Yeah.
The weather's going to be nice. And I said, let's go down to, my friend David Garfinkel said to me yesterday, go down to Canal Street. Mm-hmm. And I said, where are the Italian restaurants? What's the name of that street? Mulberry Street.
Yeah.
And apparently that's close to Canal Street.
Yeah.
So that's the plan. We'll go down there, have some dinner, walk around a little bit, buy a knockoff Rolex and what's the I can never remember the name of the famous French. There are so many. The French handbag designer, 2 names.
Coco Chanel?
No. Something and something.
Hermes?
No. Anyway, I'll buy a knockoff bag for $50 and bring it back and give it to my daughter Allie and say, no, it's the real deal.
Yeah.
And she'll say, "Sure, Dad."
Dad came into some money.
Yeah.
Quickly want to mention the Ride for Dad?
Yes, the Ride for Dad, which is an annual event for prostate cancer awareness and research. Motorcyclists get together across the country, including in Montreal, where they have the Randonnée pour Papa. And I've been kind of a fundraising ambassador for that for the last few years. Nice. So I was out Saturday morning to send them all off. And they've also got an actual radio announcer who's also a biker involved now. Bilal from Shom.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool.
And, of course, Bilal, being an afternoon announcer, showed up late. Yeah. So they had to delay the beginning of the ride till Bilal got there. And I explained that to them, too. I said, Bilal works late afternoons. He gets up when the sun is warm. Yeah. Like 1:30 in the afternoon. Yeah. So
the greatest shift in radio.
It is. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
The afternoon show is the greatest shift.
You start work at 4 in the afternoon and you're off at 7.
Yeah. Fantastic. We must ask you about the golf dinner. I know you were up in Arundel. We're recording this on Tuesday. You were there yesterday, and a lot of people have been asking me about the picture with the beautiful helicopter. They wondered if you were helicoptered into Arundel.
No, I wish. That was the annual golf tournament to fundraise for the Jackie Aze's AYA program at the Cedars Cancer Center. We had Jackie's parents, Randy and Lynn, were in last week to talk about that event.
Show your shirt. There's your shirt on. If you're watching on YouTube, Jack's.
I
like that.
That's what they called Jackie.
Yeah.
And they hold that golf tournament and raise money in honor of her memory. And one of the participants yesterday came in by helicopter. So there were some heavy hitters there.
I guess.
Yeah. And it wasn't his helicopter. It's a helicopter owned by well-known Quebec family. I'm not going to mention the name because in those circles, they're quite discreet.
Yes.
And I respect that. But this was someone from Knowlton who was not crazy about doing the 4-hour drive. And this family said, well, we're not using the chopper today. So so instead of the 4-hour drive from the townships, he flew in 20 minutes.
Traffic schmaffic.
Yeah. So I took a picture of me standing next to the helicopter and I posted it and I said, shout out to everyone who doesn't return my calls.
Arundel's, that's Dickie Moore country.
That's right.
Yeah.
John Moore, Dickie Moore's son, owns that and donated the course.
Lovely.
For the day, yeah. And it was really inspiring to see the number of, and as Randy said on the podcast last week when him and Lynn were in, that's a real grassroots fundraiser. Like Randy doesn't go around canvassing people.
Yeah.
People come to him.
Which is lovely.
Like it's a core group of old TMR friends who've rallied around that family after their loss and helped them with this event. And they raised $350,000 yesterday alone.
Two of, we just met them, but I can say two of our favorite people already.
Yeah.
Just lovely, lovely people.
Yeah. And they had a couple of young cancer patients who've gone through and benefited from that program, the Jackie Aze's AYA program. And they got up at the dinner last night and talked about their experiences. And it was quite profound. It was nice.
What did you do? Because you didn't golf, but I know you were there early afternoon, were you not?
Well, yeah. Well, no, late afternoon, because David Garfinkel, who's a great friend of the Aces and a great supporter of that program. David, I met David at lunchtime. We drove up and we had a late lunch in Saint-Jovite and lingered a little bit, and then we drove to Arundel to the golf tournament. So I'm not going to have to eat again for weeks. And of course, David being David, I tried to pick up the tab at lunch. I said, David, can I pay for once? And David said no, because then Marianne will lose her job. Marianne is David's caretaker. David is, I don't know, people who know David will know this. David is someone who had an unfortunate accident himself and is now confined to a wheelchair, so he needs full-time care, but it doesn't prevent him from being out and around and doing
he's busy.
Tireless philanthropic work, including supporting Randy and Lynn. And David said, no, you can't pay, because then Marianne would lose her job because she's in charge of the credit card. But I tried. And
then you had, I'm guessing, a pretty nice dinner.
Yeah, the dinner was terrific. At Golf Arundel, John Moore's place. And I met so many nice people, including Randy's cousin, Karen Azes, who made a point of saying hello and says she listens to the podcast all the time and enjoys it. And also Lorena Scott, who co-founded the Lorena Cook, Lorena, who co-founded the Sarah Cook Foundation along with her husband Norman. Sarah Cook also was a cancer patient. She made it, which is a nice ending to that story, but their foundation continues to do good work, and I think they work in close proximity with Randy and Lynn. And I had numerous people come up to me at the dinner and say they watched the episode last week with Lynn and Randy and really liked it, and they thanked me, and I said, well, it's our pleasure. Yeah. And it was, thank
Lynn and Randy.
Exactly. Yeah. They're the ones who are doing the heavy lifting. We just help get the message out.
That's our old buddy Ryan Wood's one of his favorite golf courses.
Oh, yeah?
His family's had a place up there for many, many years in Arundel.
It's a beautiful spot.
Yeah. I know the answer to this question. Did you watch the Emmys?
No, sir. Not a bit.
I didn't think so. Nate Bargatze hosted the Emmys. My wife Jess is a big fan of Nate's. He did a good job, I thought, hosting, but he came under a little bit of criticism because what he did, I thought it was a great idea. What he did was he donated $100,000 to the Boys and Girls Clubs of America, and he said, you have 45 seconds for your speech. We're trying to keep you on track. So for every second you go over, $1,000 will be taken off the total. For every second you go under, $1,000 will be added to the total. So that became it was kind of smart, I thought, and kind of fun, and it became the running gag of the night. Some people thought it was distracting and whatever. I thought it was a pretty cool idea. And fun to watch throughout the broadcast. We flipped back and forth between football and the Emmys, and the big winners of the night was Adolescence. If you didn't watch it, it's available on Netflix. We mentioned during the podcast season last year, it's stunning. The 15-year-old star of that series became the youngest winner ever of Best Actor in a something.
So are the Emmys dominated now more by shows that are on streaming services than shows that are on legacy network television?
The big winner of the night was The Studio, the Seth Rogen series on Apple TV. The other big winner of the night was The Pit, which is an HBO story, which is stars some of the people from the old ER series. Anyway, I didn't realize it was Emmy season, and it was, and I didn't think you watched, but I thought I would mention it.
Mobland win anything?
Mobland,
or was it eligible? Was it nominated for anything?
You know what? I can't answer that question, but I did not see them there that night. Yeah. Shall we mention Sugar Sammy before we plow ahead? I've got a couple of other things here on the list. Sugar Sammy is, I couldn't believe it. He sent me a note yesterday. I think his 156 or
156 sellouts at Sal
consecutive
Mercure.
sellouts.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. And
that's really quite something.
And stand by for that number to go up.
Yes.
Because he's got more shows at Sal Mercure in Montreal later this month. I think he's in the middle of the run right now. You can go to sugarsammy.com for information and tickets. He's got some English-only shows. He's got some bilingual shows. And he also, in a note he sent me, he sent to both of us, he mentioned that he's going to be in Dubai on October 18th and 19th. And I thought, well, who's that relevant to in Montreal? I know two people.
Really?
In the last 3 weeks, I've met two people, one of whom has moved to Dubai, and somebody at the golf tournament yesterday is leaving for Dubai today.
Oh, okay.
So maybe they can go see Sammy in Dubai on October 18th and or 19th. But for the rest of us, there are the Montreal shows. Again, tickets available at sugarsammy.com. If you've never seen him before, for the love of God, go and see him for the first time. And if you have seen him before, you know how good he is.
Yeah, go see him again.
Go see him again, because Sammy just doesn't rehash the same. He doesn't recycle the same old material. And he does so much crowd work, and he's so good at it that even Sammy doesn't know what you're going to get quite often when you're on your way to the show.
We went to see him down in the United States a few years ago. We went to see him at a club in San Francisco. And it's fun to watch him in different venues. And he's going to be in the UK in 2026. He is going to be touring in the States if you spend any time down there. If you've not been to his website, go to sugarsammy.com to look for dates and tickets, but also have a look at the crowd work and the clips that he posts. And you'll get an idea of how talented this guy is. sugarsammy.com. Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
Let me dive into. I wanted to mention this. Somebody sent me a Facebook message and asked what I was talking about when I mentioned red pizza last week. I mentioned my friends at the NDG Bakery on Upper Lachine Road, and I said red pizza. Red pizza is the big. If you're from Montreal, you know this.
The big square pizza with just the tomato sauce.
Just the tomato sauce. And when I bite into a piece of that pizza, it rockets me back to my Uncle Rudolph's, my Uncle Johnny's, my Uncle Jimmy's, like every occasion, especially if you're from an Italian family, every occasion on a Sunday, there was squares of that pizza cut by a pair of scissors on a big plate. Mm-hmm. And that's what I meant by red pizza.
And there's often the optional white pizza. I don't know if it's called white pizza, but that's actually my preference. I like that better than the red. Yeah, I like that a lot.
My mom and dad, I still bring it to when I go to my mom and dad's. Anyway, that's what I was talking about. And NDG Bakery is our favorite red pizza. So, wanted to mention the email. Go to terryandtedpodcast.com. You can send us an email there. It's the easiest way to do it. You find all the episodes there. You find the recommendations that we talk about there. Jess has been updating the website and keeping it up to date. And go to Terry and Ted Podcast and send us a note. Wanted to say thanks to Joanne Watts. Joanne was talking about the Dorval Airport and the construction and the chaos. We were talking about that.
Oh, yeah. She offered an alternative to waiting in line for 45 minutes to get into the airport.
Yeah. She said there's drop-off parkings and shuttles now, and they run really well. You can easily find P4 or P10 parkings on Google Maps or Waze, and there's a shuttle that comes by every 5 minutes to take you to the airport. Thanks for the note, Joanne.
That's smart. Although I'm flying out at 8 a.m. On Saturday.
You should be okay.
Yeah. I'm going to get Allie's going to drop me off at 6 a.m. That's the price she's going to have to pay for having my car for the weekend.
There you go.
Yeah, you can have my car for the weekend, but you're dropping me off and picking me up.
I got good news and bad news.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was thank you, Joanne, for sending that along. Like I said, we're P4 converts. I didn't want to talk about it because people are going to start crowding that out, but thank you for the note. James Wilson sent us a note about the Get Smart movie, which cracked me up so much. You sent me a clip.
I'd forgotten about that movie.
Yeah, James said, keep up the great work. I look forward to the podcast every week. You brighten my day, make me laugh every week, just like you always have from Shome to Mix 96. He also offered a Carey Price explanation. I got lots of those last week.
Yeah, we got lots of those for sure.
And he mentioned the Get Smart movie with Alan Arkin, which was shot here in Montreal, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was. It was shot
Alan
in Montreal.
Arkin was so good in that.
Oh, my God.
A very versatile actor, a great serious actor, but great comedy chops, too. Yeah. Well demonstrated in that movie, in his role as the chief.
I think...
Find Chris... It's Christich, sir. Find him! Chris Kringle Fish Sticks.
Steve Carell and Alan Arkin together, can you imagine? Oh, my God.
Great outtakes from that movie that you can find online as well. Yeah.
I think he might have been in town doing that movie. Oh, no, probably not. When I went to pee with him, it was very exciting.
With Alan Arkin or Steve Carell?
With Alan Arkin.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was at an Italian restaurant.
Say, hey, Al, nice stream.
I was too afraid to talk to him, and I regret it.
Yeah.
Well, he was in the men's room.
Yeah.
Have some.
Got to pick your spots.
You got to pick your spots. Yeah. Hey, by the way, if you want to send us a note, Ted and I look at the mail every day, almost every day. I know Ted looks at it most days. Hey, Ted?
Yeah, I got nothing else to do.
Yeah. And I'm curious to know, I'd love to hear from some people about how the cell phone ban is working in schools, because that's new this year. And I'd love to hear from teachers or parents or, anybody. I know if you've got kids in school, you probably don't have time to listen to the podcast. But if you do, and your kids' phones have been taken away, I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear if it's working or not, and if the kids are going nuts or if it's made a difference.
Standing by the podcast at gmail.com.
Or terryandtedpodcast.com.
Yeah, and find the email link there.
Yeah, there you go. I thought we would mention the transit strike, because that's coming up again.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Not the drivers, though.
Eh?
The mechanics?
Maintenance are doing it up.
Yeah.
Doing it up again. They're mad.
Yeah. Well, that's relevant to me when Allie has my car. Allie's my 17-year-old daughter.
Yes.
She just got her license, so she has my car more than I do.
Yeah, she got a sweet deal. Because sometimes a lot of times now I phone you and you're trapped at home.
Yeah. Yeah, but the bus stop's right. If I want to go somewhere, the bus stop's right outside my door.
Yeah.
And
but you could say that to her.
Say what to her?
The bus stop's right outside your door.
Yeah, but she's a 17-year-old girl.
Yeah, it's
so,
exciting.
And she's, she's daddy's little girl, so I'm wrapped around her finger. Dad, can I? Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are a user of public transit,
Yes.
so this might affect you. We're recording this on September 16th for publication September 17th, and they're still talking, so who knows? Maybe they'll come to a settlement. But unless a deal is reached in the next days, bus and metro services will be reduced Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays between the 22nd of September and the 5th of October. They're looking to do what they can, but if they can't come to an agreement, and we've been through this before already in June, excuse me, metro service will only be offered between 6:30 and 9:30, 2:45 to 5:45, and 11 p.m. till close.
Wow.
So that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
That's tough if you're going to school. That's tough if you work shift work. The stations will be gradually closed after the last train passes. And it's also going to affect bus service. Bus will be on a reduced schedule Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. There will be no departures from the terminus between 1:15 a.m. and 6:15. Regular service will be 6:15 to 9:15, and then not again till 3 until 6, and then not again until 11:15 at night. So beware of that, Ted.
I guess you want to have the app handy. There's an app that I use.
Oh, okay.
When I travel on public transit, it's the. Let me put my looking teeth in here.
Yeah, please do.
It's the app. It's the thing. View all schedules. Well, yeah, but what's the name of the app?
We should have some interlude kind of music here
I
while
know.
Ted puts his looking
Chrono,
teeth.
CHRONO. Or just, Google MTC app. And if I'm traveling on public transit, I go to that app and I put in, here's where I am, here's where I want to go, here's what time I want to get there, and then it just gives me all the options of which bus, which metro. So I assume that they will make adjustments on that app if there are going to be delays.
Yeah, if you should Google STM.
Yeah.
MTC is that's a long time ago, I think, isn't it?
Well, so I'm a long time ago. STM, you're right.
Yeah, STM.
Yeah.
Bienvenue, or however it goes. But you're a user of public transit. You don't mind it at all, and like you say, it stops in front of your door.
I've only ever used it in good weather.
Yeah.
Like when I couldn't drive for 6 months, that was like from May to September or whatever that 6 month period is. And I wasn't working, and I'm semi-retired.
Yeah.
I describe myself as a semi-retired layabout.
Yes.
Yeah. It's in good weather. I wouldn't want to stand at the bus stop for 15 minutes when it's minus 20 and the wind is blowing.
And you take the bus when it's quite hot and the BO humidex index is quite high.
Yeah, but I'd rather deal with BO than freezing my ass off at the bus stop.
I'm referring to myself now as a country gentleman.
You are a country gentleman.
Because I live up north.
You're a gentleman who lives in the country.
So, and I consider myself to be a bit of a gentleman. I try to be a gentleman. Oh, by the way, have you seen the new metro names? The blue line is going to be extended.
I've heard about them, but I haven't seen them.
Well,
are they going to make me mad?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Cesare Perisotto.
Okay. Sekisa.
Sepo. No, I looked it up. It was Italian.
Okay.
Nice.
Someone who contributed to the community?
Yes.
Okay, that's good enough for me.
Vertier. I don't know. Madeleine Perrin.
Mm-hmm.
Saint Michel, because that's the area it's going to be extended into.
Right.
And Mary Tuax.
Okay.
So there you go.
That's one of my favorite, probably my favorite name from Ganawage is I have a friend of friends over there whose name is Boy 2Axe.
Oh, really?
I love that name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Boy 2Axe.
Like Boy would be what we would call the first name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's his real name or his nickname.
Oh, okay.
My buddy Java always used to talk about him. Yeah, I was talking to Boy yesterday. Who's Boy?
Boy 2Axe.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I would like to mention that coming up this weekend, this is September the 17th, September 20th, I'm going to be at the Merson's Brouhaha. I'm very excited about the Brouhaha.
I'll be there for the pre-Brouhaha.
Right.
Today, the 17th of September. We should backtrack a bit.
Yeah.
Their 8th annual preseason tire sale at Merson Automotive on Saint Jacques began on Monday and runs until Saturday, the 15th to the 20th of September. Your opportunity to save money on tires. If you need new winter tires, now is the time to go. Rebates. You could win back the purchase price of your tires up to $1,000.
Cool.
Yeah. And the Brouhaha on Saturday should include refreshments. Hot dogs, maybe, and/or pizza. They'll have snacks and refreshments on hand for when Terry's there.
Homer's Donuts.
Oh, that's right.
Yes,
Homer's Donuts,
the greatest donuts in the history of the world. Yeah,
yeah. I don't know if they're going to have anything when I'm there from 10 to noon on Wednesday.
Well, they have the water cooler.
And I won't hold it against them if they don't have anything. I just can't be there Saturday because I'll be on a plane to New York.
Normally, Ted and I would do these things together, but Ted, as we talked about it earlier on the broadcast or podcast, is going to be in New York City with his son Sam, seeing the Giants against the Kansas City Chiefs.
You can register ahead of time if you're going to buy tires at mersonauto.com. You'll see the tire sale banner and click on that and tell them who you are, what time you're coming, all the spaces are all there for you to fill in. What kind of car you drive, what year it is, what the size of your tires are, and that will just help streamline the process for when you get there.
It'd be fun to fill in 44 DeSoto to see what kind of reaction you get.
You know what? If there are still tires for a 44 DeSoto, Celso will find them for you.
The Mersons have been in the same spot for a long, long time, and we have loved them and been their clients for a long, long time
friends.
too. And friends.
As much as or more so than clients.
Yeah.
And they're sponsors of the podcast, and we're grateful.
Just past the corner of Saint Jacques and Cavendish, and for God's sake, make your appointment now because they go quick.
Mersonauto.com.
I just have you seen Christmas ads on Facebook? I started getting, I don't know why, maybe I said the word Christmas and my phone overheard it, but suddenly all kinds of Christmas shit has popped up on my Facebook feed.
Could we have Halloween and Thanksgiving first, please?
I get how it works, and I get that they like to, race forward with everything, but Jesus Christ, I was in the pool yesterday.
Yeah.
So I'm not ready to think about Christmas and buy things. And just as I was saying that, Jess said to me on Saturday, we have to start thinking about our Christmas card. It's too early.
I was at the Dollarama the other day, and there was a lady whose cart was filled with Halloween decorations.
Yeah.
And I said, boy, you're getting an early jump on Halloween. And the person at the cash said, never mind Halloween. The Christmas stuff's coming in soon.
Yeah.
So anyway, it comes. The older you get, the faster time goes. So it's going to be on top of us before we know it. But I know what you're saying. If you're still in the pool, then we shouldn't be talking about Christmas. Let's not rush.
Talk about
slow down,
fancy ass problems. Let me close my pool before we talk about Christmas.
Fuck off.
I won't go on about it.
Okay.
Did you?
No, sir.
No?
No.
Did you apply for your money from the bread lawsuit? Remember?
The bread lawsuit?
Yes. I sent you a thing. I sent you a note in email. I'm jumping on the bandwagon. I don't know if you follow this guy called the Food Professor on X.
Yes, I know who you mean.
Yeah. It's a guy named Dr. Sylvain Charlebois. I think he follows you. He follows me.
Yeah.
He's a great follow.
Yeah.
He's
I think him and I think the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's really he's all over everything about food and grocery prices and.
Well, tell me about the bread lawsuit.
Let me. Yeah, like this week he posted. So it's not your imagination. The food professor posted this week the top 20 grocery hikes in Canada. Year to date for 2025. Well, listen to some of these. Oranges up 19.4%. Onions up 17%. Chicken breasts up 15%. Carrots up 33%. Coffee up 30%. Beef top sirloin up 50% in a year. Sweet potatoes up 35%. Canned soup. I'm not telling you anything you don't know if you shop. Anyway, it's if you follow him on X, it's a really interesting follow about the country and groceries and farmers, everything surrounded food. That's why he's called the Food Professor. And he told me about this bread cartel back in 2017. I don't know what the story is. He would be able to tell it better than I could. We should have him on the podcast. There was a bread cartel accusation, I think, aimed at the Westons.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember that.
And there's been a settlement.
And the Westons own Loblaws. Have I got that right?
They own everything.
Okay.
They own Loblaws and all kinds of stuff. And get this, if you bought packaged bread in Canada between 2001 and 2021, you're eligible for compensation.
Wow.
The settlement is $404 million. And anyone in Canada who purchased packaged bread in that period can apply to be compensated, and you don't need receipts.
Well, that was my next question. Do you have to have proof of purchase?
22% of the $404 million is going to Quebecers. And I went online and I saw his tweet and I thought, I'm going to get in on that action. He said anywhere, you could end up anywhere between $5 and $100. So I sent you the link.
Oh, okay.
And said, get in on that. Even if they send you a 20, why not?
Yeah, well, I don't buy bread anymore, so. But
Did you buy?
But between 2001 and 2021, I did, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I haven't bought bread I'm off the bread.
I don't know how you do it.
Yeah. I'm a little bit.
I don't know how you do it.
I think I've told this story before. I'm a little bit like a recovering alcoholic when I walk by the bakery and I smell the bread wafting out, and I think, well, maybe I'll have just one loaf.
That is at the top of the list of things that we missed when we lived in British Columbia. All the bread in BC was shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's Cobb's Bakery, and if you're listening in BC, you see, you're saying, Quebec bias, blah, blah, blah. We missed the bread. And there was a point in my life where I was on Russian diet.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Beets and potatoes?
No, baguettes and vodka.
Oh.
I don't know how you do it. I can't. I guess I'm going to die before you. But I just love bread, and specifically the way bread is made in Quebec.
I have bread at restaurants.
Okay, good.
But at home, I just don't. I don't have it. I don't keep it in the house. And if I don't keep it in the house, I'm not going to eat it. Right?
You're way more disciplined than I am.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is a sandwich. I think. Yeah.
Like I'm disciplined.
Yeah, you are. You swim every day.
I don't
you ride
swim
the bike
every day.
You take the bus. You go to golf dinners.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you have any bread at the golf dinner?
Oh yeah.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah. Oh no, not at the golf dinner, but at lunch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I highly recommend, if you're on X, and a lot of people aren't, but if you're on X, follow the food professor, Dr. Sylvain Charlebois from McGill.
You have to wade through the sewer to get to the good follows like him.
Yeah,
but you can find him.
He's a great follow. And if you go on his profile, and if you check your email, I sent you the link.
Okay.
And it was easy to do. You click on the link, you give your name, address, and phone number, and they
wait for the check to come in.
Yeah, they send you a confirmation saying, you're on the list. And, I don't know how long it's going to take. And I don't know, maybe I'll get $5 or whatever. But I figured, you know what? If Galen Weston had to dole out $400 million, I'll take a piece
he can
of that.
afford it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I look in your email. I think you'll find it in there. It's pretty cool. Let's say hi to our friends at Accutech Electric. You said you got a note from them, eh, Ted?
I did, yeah. I got a note from Trish at Accutech.
Ted's going to put his looking teeth in.
Yeah, I'm going to have to put.
We're going to get looking teeth music. How about that? What do you think about that?
Actually, yeah, that's a good idea. And then we can have a little interlude while I put in my my looking teeth. Mm-hmm. I should have had that called up already.
Yeah, for sure.
But I didn't.
Well, Ted and I both missed rehearsal again this week.
Well, I can't even log on to my email on my laptop.
When I got to the studio today, I didn't realize Ted was here until I heard, "God damn son of a bitch," coming from the studio. I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "I can't get into my goddamn email."
Yeah, well, I only ever use my phone now. The only time I ever use my laptop is when we're here, and for whatever reason, I couldn't get into my own email today. So, yes, because I asked Trish, what do you want us to talk about, considering the time of the year it is?
Yeah.
And what she said, it's a great time to remind people that now is the time to get heating issues taken care of.
Yeah.
Because we're moving into the season where you're going to have to turn the heat back on. And she said a lot of people are moving from oil furnaces to electric heating, whether it's electric boilers or baseboard heating. She said we can help plan and do all of the work for those issues, as well as any service entrance or panel upgrades that might be needed to go along with that. So whether it's a heating issue, whatever electrical issue you might have, and as you say every week, Tara, it's not something that comes up every day or is on your plate every day. But when it does come up, when you need help with electrical,
remember the name.
Yeah, Accutech Electric. Two-generation family business. They've been in business for 30 years now. They know what they're doing, and you can trust them. Accutech.ca is their email address. You can find them online. You can give them a call. Tell them you heard about them from Terry and Ted, and you won't be the only ones because...
Is that right?
Yeah, well, apparently they've done okay by us to the extent that they've come back on board
returned,
for a third season as sponsors, and we're grateful.
Yeah, when we had lunch with Tom, I loved his passion.
Yeah,
I
Tom's
loved
an
his
interesting
stories.
cat.
Yeah.
He's a Renaissance man.
Really,
he's a
really,
Renaissance man and an electrician.
Yeah.
Not every electrician can quote Plato off the top of his head, but Tom can.
Yeah, and
or maybe it was Aristotle. I'm not sure. He can probably quote
great
both.
Story about the family and how that business came to be.
Yeah.
Accutech, ACUTECH.ca.
You want to do the tweet sheet?
I do.
I'm always excited about the tweet sheet.
Yeah, I'm going to get my looking teeth on.
I've got a new rule for when I'm surfing X looking for tweets to use on the tweet sheet. I only use ones that make me laugh out loud. If they make me laugh out loud,
they're going to make me.
They're
laugh.
going to make the tweet sheet. Yeah. Let's start with this one from @Halifax. Tom Cruise's full name is Tomahawk Cruise Missile. Tomahawk Cruise Control. You know what that reminded me of?
What?
The one we used a few years ago from @WoodyLovesCoffee, who for whatever reason has been suspended by X.
Oh, okay.
His account's been suspended, but he had one that said J.D. Salinger's real name is Jimmy Dean Salad Fingers.
I remember that one.
So this reminded me of that. Tom Cruise's full name is Tomahawk Cruise Control. From @UncleBob56, the first wheel was invented in 3500 BC, and somehow they put that wheel on my shopping cart. I think that's something we can all relate to, no?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from @MarkMyWords2, autocorrect changed homemade to hemorrhoid, and now no one wants Nana's banana bread recipe.
Oh boy, those are good ones.
Yeah, those are dandies, aren't they?
Yeah, every week Ted is Ted's on. We call it Twitter. I know you're supposed to call it X, and I don't know about you. I admire you because you find these great tweets every week, and I find it's probably, I guess, because of my algorithm, my feed, the arrow through my head, whatever it is. I find it really depressing after a while.
Yeah, but when I go looking for the tweets for the tweet sheet, I go to accounts that I already know are funny accounts,
like Kip
and
Conlon and those,
I either get something off their accounts, or I go to, like, every time you call up a Twitter account or an X account, there are a bunch of similar accounts. If you scroll down just a little bit, you see a bunch of similar accounts. And so I just go to those. I go to these accounts that I know they're just for fun.
Yeah.
They're just comedy accounts, basically.
I guess, I don't know. I like last night, was it last night or 100 years ago? It was last night. I was watching the football game, the late football game. And I thought to myself, oh my God, these announcers are horrible. This is like, who are these guys? And I Googled, or I went to Twitter and I typed in San Diego, Las Vegas, announce team, whatever. And it came up, and the guy's name is Chris Fowler, apparently a well-respected college guy who everybody was saying was sick, that he had like a giant head cold, and he sounded like he didn't want to be there. And I used to find Twitter fun for that. You know, you could, follow along during the Emmys or the Oscars, and people would be making snide
It'd be
remarks
cracking wise.
whatever.
Yeah.
And now it's, I don't know if it's because it's since Elon Musk bought it, or it's all part of the rage is the new sex thing. You know, the anger is the way the algorithms move, or whatever it is. But I find I got to get in and get out because
Yeah.
it starts to eat at my psyche, I find.
Yeah, well, it's, I guess you could say it's the lesser of two evils, or you might think that the previous Twitter under Jack Dorsey was the lesser of two evils. Before Elon Musk bought Twitter, it was heavily censored.
Yeah.
And now it's the Wild West. It's a free-for-all. Yeah. So, pick your poison.
Well, and that's what it is. That's what it is. That, when we opened the show and that topic we talked about this week, that's Jess and I were talking about how, we used to say the internet was good news, bad news. And now poison and cancer, I think, is the word.
Yeah.
Social media has become...
it's ugly.
Yeah, it's ugly. Thank you, Matthew. Yeah. Matthew has just put up something for us. Algorithms reward outrage. Social media platforms use algorithms to promote content that generates high engagement, of course, including likes, shares, and comments. Multiple studies have confirmed that posts designed to trigger anger and outrage, or as they call it, rage bait, generate some of the strongest responses.
Yeah, and to that extent, it's and you hear this term a lot now. It's a psyop.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's a psyop that's designed to do anything other than make money. It's just a money. It's follow the money.
And my Facebook feed now is wide open, just jammed with all kinds of wacky sites and AI generated stuff that's bullshit. We talked about this last week. And now my Facebook page, I made it a professional. So now I have followers on my Facebook page. And so anybody can see my Facebook page. And it's resulted in a lot of, you suck and shut up and
mine is still a personal Facebook page, and I've got my settings so that only my Facebook friends can comment on my posts.
If the time comes where we're not doing a podcast, I'm going to shut it all down and get the hell off it.
That might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, and I you know what? You have at me. There was some person said this week when we were talking about, because I jokingly said to you, can you explain the Carey Price trade to me last week?
And I said no, because I couldn't.
And I knew it would be good for a laugh.
Yeah,
because
and it was.
That's what we do.
Yeah, we're not a hockey podcast.
Right. And somebody commented, you guys are not prepared. Yeah, we're never prepared.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
If we were a hockey podcast, we would be prepared on hockey topics.
Yeah, but we're always prepared.
Yeah.
But we're
prepared to be us.
Yes. You can tell by listening to the podcast, it's not, hello, Ted, how are you today?
Yeah.
I am fine, thank you. Let's talk about topic number one. That's not what we do.
Yeah, and
We've
it's
never
not a
done
hockey
that.
podcast. And I knew when they made the Carey Price trade, I knew it was a paperwork move.
Yeah, I knew it had something to do with cap, blah,
but I
blah,
was.
blah.
It's not. I'm not so invested in it that I need to know the details.
I don't follow hockey that close.
Yeah, I
want to
know if the Habs won.
Right.
I want to watch them play.
Me too.
I can tell you who plays for them.
Yes.
I can tell you that they were good last year, and they're probably going to be better this year because they made some good moves in the offseason. But I don't know the ins and outs of the salary cap floor and ceiling. And I'm not particularly interested.
Me neither. I don't give a shit. I want to watch, like you, I want to watch the game.
Yeah.
I want to hear Pierre Hood call the game. By the way, 50 years in broadcasting. How about that, eh?
Yeah, amazing.
That's congratulations to Pierre Hood, our favorite play-by-play announcer, 50 years in the game. And that's, you know what Jeff Horton, Here's a Who, and what's the other guy's name? That's the extent of my, no, it's Horton and...
Jeff Gordon.
Horton and Gordon?
No.
Gordon. Jeff Gordon.
Horton and Gordon, how can I help you? Yeah, I want to sue the bread cartel.
That's a callback, eh?
Yeah.
No, it's Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon and Buddy from the West Island, who's the general manager.
Yeah.
And this is just me being old and early onset dementia that I can't. Why can I not remember his name?
Because I said Horton.
I see his face.
Yeah.
And
Matthew's going to look it up for us.
Thank you, Matthew. Okay. Yeah, that's a brain fart.
So
right
there you go.
Of course, I should know his name.
That what they do and the machinations of a second round pick for a third round, under the cap and over the cap. I don't give a shit about any of that.
No, I don't either.
I don't care about any of that.
Yeah. The Canadiens general manager. He's from Beaconsfield, for crying out loud.
Yes.
What's the matter with us? And I can see in my mind's eye, I see his face. It's right in front of me, and I've said it 1,000 times. Kent Hughes.
There you go.
Yeah. When the Canadiens had the first overall pick, and they used it on Slavkovsky 3 years. I think it was 3 years ago. And Kent Hughes' son was draft eligible that year. And Kent Hughes jokingly put out on Twitter, "No, we're not going to use the first overall pick to draft whatever his son's name was." Right. And his son responded, "Big mistake."
That's great.
I wish I knew his son's name off the top of my head because he deserves credit for that. That was funny.
That's, you talk about engagement. If you want engagement on Jack Hughes, there you go. If you want engagement on social media in Montreal, all you got to do is post something about hockey.
Oh yeah,
because that Carey Price trade, we got all kinds of feedback.
Yeah, that generated more feedback than anything else we've talked about in the last several episodes.
Yeah, hockey and engagement go together in this town.
Yeah, let me do a quick shout out, Tara, that I promised last week, and we never got to it. I was at Cunningham's in St. Anne de Bellevue, greatest chicken wings in the history of the world, a couple of weeks ago. And I was sitting at the bar having some wings, and the bartendress, Yasmin, got to talking to me. And I think she's 23. And one of the other waitresses said, "Hey, you know who that is, eh?" "No, that's Ted Bird." And I was like, well, yeah. I might have been somebody locally 1,000 years ago. Anyway, she said, "Oh, the radio guy."
Oh, wow.
And she's 23.
That's cool.
I haven't been on the radio since she was like 9.
That's very cool.
Anyway, I got to talking to her, and I said, she mentioned she's going to Université de Montréal. And I said, "What are you studying?" And she said, "Math." And I said, "Oh, you're going to be like a teacher?" And she said, "No, an actuary."
Oh.
And I thought to myself, when I even said this to her, never in my life have I met someone who decided that they're going to be an actuary. Mm-hmm. What do you want to be when you grow up? An actuary. I've never heard that.
No.
I've heard fireman, policeman, lawyer, doctor, never an actuary. I didn't even know what an actuary is.
I was just going to say, can you explain what it is?
An actuary is someone who uses mathematics to assess risk. Like they would work. She might work in the insurance industry. It's risk assessment, basically. It's just you got to be really, really smart and good with numbers.
Right.
But I thought that was so cool, so I said I'm going to give you a shout out on the podcast. So there you go, Yasmin.
Oh, that's very cool.
Who works at Cunningham's but is going to be an actuary.
I'm constantly amazed by the connection from all those years ago. Cindy Aikman posted a picture of us at a breakfast tour stop when we used to broadcast from people's homes. And it was a picture of me, Cindy, and Tommy Schnurmacher, and I think the people in that house. It was 38 years ago. 38 years ago, I nearly fell off my chair. And that very same day, I got a text from Peppermint Patty in Calgary, who is working at a store just outside Calgary. And 2 Montrealers came in, recognized her. She phoned me. We FaceTimed with their dad. It was all from recognition from what we did on the radio 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It still stuns me. I get it. Back then, radio and television, that was it. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, they were a much bigger deal than they are now, that's for sure.
Yeah, and as a consequence of that, we became local public figures, I guess is the way to say it.
Yeah, I still put it in perspective, though, when people say to me, "Wow, you're a celebrity." I think on the celebrity food chain, it goes rodeo clown, local radio personality, team mascot. More people know who Youpie is than know who I am. That's how I keep it in perspective.
You want to see, excuse me, if you want to see our picture, go to Robert Richer Jewelers. That's a good ad for them, eh?
Yeah, well, that's
we brought them our new poster.
That's right, yeah, because we figured then people would be beating the doors in to see the guys.
Hey, isn't that
the guys who aren't those the guys who are almost as famous as Youppi?
Robert Richer Jewelers are in Dorval, and they're another family business that support the podcast, and we're extremely grateful to them. We've talked about them every week and told you the story about how it's been there for a very, very long time. They've been on the West Island for a long time, and for such a small jewelry shop, they sure have a heavy hitter who goes to Antwerp twice a year.
That's right. Pierre will be going to Antwerp this fall, where he gets invitational access to the diamond factories in the diamond capital of the world. So if you've got a big occasion coming up, and you want to make that big purchase, whether it's for an engagement ring, whether it's for an anniversary, and you want to go all in on a nice diamond, you will get your money's worth from Pierre. He's been in the business for as long as I think we've been in radio.
Yeah.
We're about the same age.
Yeah.
He knows his way around the diamond factories, and he knows his way around a diamond, and it's unbelievable, the technology that comes with what Pierre does. He put a microscopic engraving. Did I tell you this story about the woman?
Yes.
The elderly woman who came in with the diamond that she had purchased after her husband passed away. She purchased the diamond in his honor and in his memory. And there's a microscopic engraving that Pierre did on the side of the diamond. And I don't remember exactly what it said, but it was an ode and a tribute to the longevity of their love and marriage.
Yeah.
And and it was just the things that they can do now are just unbelievable. And again, you don't have to go in there and spend tens of thousands of dollars on a 4-carat stone. You can buy, it's September, it's Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. You can buy a $30 bracelet, a beautiful bracelet, and half the proceeds go to the Quebec Association for Suicide Prevention.
And there are pendants and earrings and all kinds of things at all manner of different prices if you're looking for a gift to impress. And it's a wonderful environment. It's not a huge place. It's family run. They welcome you with a little snack at the front desk. And
it's warm and fuzzy and sparkly.
Yeah, warm and fuzzy and sparkly. That should be their new slogan. Robert Richer Jewelers, they're just across from the Hipstado.
Yeah, they are at 309 Dorval Avenue in Dorval, just across from the Crisp Biscuits. There's another callback.
Yeah,
That's
you go.
two.
Yeah. All right. I thought I would mention a couple of things. I haven't been watching a lot of stuff, but I went to the picture show this past week. I went to the cinema. And we went to see...
You went to that little cinema up where you live?
Oh, God, we love
Yeah, I want to go there one of these days.
Movie theater. It's Cinema Pine.
Mm-hmm. It's a throwback movie theater.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a family-run theater that's been there for 1,000 years. Not 1,000 years, but you know what I mean. Been there a very, very long time, and it's really special to my wife, Jess, because that's where she went when she was a kid. And it's just a beautiful spot. Anyway, we went there this week to see Downton, the grand finale. Downton Abbey, the grand finale.
Oh, yeah?
Where Jess and I are massive, massive fans of Downton Abbey. And it's the TV show that they thought would run for 7 episodes and ran for I don't know how many years. And then they made a movie and said that was it. Then they made another movie and they said that was it. And they made this movie and they've called it the grand finale. And this is supposed to be it. If you are a Downton Abbey fan, I can't recommend it enough. They don't make movies like this anymore. It's not a comic book movie. There's no shooting. There's no guns. There's no swearing. It's old school, beautifully done. Highly recommend it, especially if you're a fan of Downton Abbey. Jess has already been to see it twice. We went on Thursday night, and then she took her aunt and her grandmother on the weekend. Highly, highly recommend it. I don't know if I mentioned this last week or 10 years ago, the documentary called Brady and the Blues. I might have. Anyway, Brady and the Blues. is the story of Tom Brady and his business partner buying a Premier League soccer team in Birmingham. And it's really, really interesting. Tom Brady's the draw because he's Tom Brady, of course. But the idea of two Americans buying a British football team, it's a little bit like Wrexham. It's the same kind of idea. If you follow the Wrexham story, if you're a soccer fan, maybe you hate it because Americans are buying too many of the teams. But it's on Prime, and I found it really interesting. If you're a sports fan and you like a good story, it's called Brady and the Blues. It's on Prime. We're also watching Murders in the Building with Steve Martin and Martin Short and Selena Gomez. And we like that very much. I think it's season 5, and it's off to a really good start. And I can't recommend it, but I'm very excited for it. Jude Law and Jason Bateman are in a new Netflix show called Black Rabbit. And that will be on Netflix starting tomorrow. And I am a huge Jason Bateman fan. I think he's a hell of an actor. He's got the unbelievably successful podcast with his buddies called Smartless. And I loved Ozark. I absolutely loved Ozark. I thought it was terrific. Anyway, he's got a new one coming, Black Rabbit. It's on Netflix starting September 18th.
I learned this past week, that I had an old man bird moment on the show last week.
Did you?
On the podcast, when we were talking about our new sponsors from Playground in Ganawage, Playground Poker and Gaming. I said that Phil from Playground described it as Vegas without the flight. And then I heard from Jay from Playground, who said, it's the trip. No, it's the strip without the trip.
Okay.
Not Vegas without the flight, the strip without the trip.
Well, you came up with your own one.
Yeah. Well, it's not nearly, Vegas without the flight is not nearly as catchy as the strip without the trip.
There you go.
But that's what it is. Playground on South Shore, on the 138 in South Shore, Ganawage. Terry and I did the grand tour a couple of weeks ago. I forget what the square footage is, but it's
big by big.
Yeah, it's really, yeah. And it's slot machines, and it's electronic blackjack and roulette, and it's, I think above all, I don't know if above all else, if the poker is the main thing, because there are just so many. Yeah, when slot machines.
When you walk in, it has that ping, 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 ping. That thing that gets you excited when you're in Vegas or in any casino. When you open the doors, that's what you get. But then you go upstairs, and there's those beautiful poker rooms. And as I was saying last week, I initially was intimidated, and then it was explained to me that they're not playing for $100,000. Some people come in and just have fun with, $50 or $100 or whatever it is. And they eat and they drink.
Yeah. And their whole thing, the Playground's whole thing is, sure, it's there to make money, but also they want you to have fun.
Yeah.
They want you to
entertainment. That's what he said.
Yeah. They want you to have an entertainment experience, and the customer service is terrific there. The food is fantastic. 3 restaurants on site. Go for the first time or go back if you've never been, because the expansion over the last few years has been unbelievable.
Well, it's your new grocery plan.
You're going
to learn how to play poker.
I'm going to get in on cash poker games where they feed you and give you free drinks. And as long as I keep winning, I'll never have to buy groceries again. So I'll have to become a bit of a card shark. Anyway, go to playground.ca and register there, because if you're going to play the machines, and I think it applies to the poker as well, you got to have the card. So streamline the process by registering and get your card first, and away you go. It's a great, great spot and a great experience. Playground.ca.
Just before we go, we should, I think I mentioned it at the top of the show, mention the passing of Robert Redford.
Yes.
It just happened as we were recording the podcast. That's a real landmark for people of our generation. The amount of movie, he's such an amazing, effortless actor. There's a scene in Spy Game with him and Brad Pitt on the roof that I watch over and over again that the acting in that movie, well, in all his movies, are phenomenal.
And I think it speaks to how good he was that there's no one role that you associate him with.
No.
Like when I thought about Robert Redford today, like multiple movies came to mind.
Barefoot in the Park, The Way We Were,
The Sting.
What
was the baseball movie?
The Great Guy. No, The Natural.
The Natural.
It was called The Natural. Robert Redford is the great guy.
Robert Redford is Ted fucking Williams.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. That's a tough loss. And while we're mentioning that, I thought just before we go, we would express our condolences to the friends and family of René Aumier-Roy, who was the legendary journalist and radio show host from Radio Canada, passed away this past week, and Beverly Thompson, who apparently battled breast cancer for almost 20 years, passed away at the ridiculously young age of 61. It was quite a loss for people, especially in the Ontario broadcast community. I know Simon Dingley, Leslie Roberts, and other people. A lot of people remember her from Canada AM, but she was a news anchor for a very, very long time when news anchors were news anchors. Our condolences to her and her family. Okay, I guess that's it for this week, Ted.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I see. We got a little timer right there. Hey, man. That's very cool. I can see up there how long we've been yapping our yap face yappers.
We'll be back next week with New York stories, including tales of the Giants getting the living shit kicked out of them by the Kansas City Chiefs.
Where are you sitting?
Second level, first row, right around the 25-yard line.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Very excited about it.
Nice.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I just hope they're competitive.
Yeah,
I talked to a friend of mine who's a Chiefs fan, and I said, I just hope it's not 27-3 at the end of the first half. And he said, don't be ridiculous. The Giants won't get 3 points.
I'm telling you, I'm not a knowledgeable football guy. But Jess and I watch every weekend, and Kansas City has not looked good.
No.
They really have not looked good.
Well, there are two teams that are 0-2.
Yeah, and we noticed Mr. Kelsey there on the sidelines throwing his helmet and yelling at his teammates.
Well, he does that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bit of a prima donna, or maybe even a lot of a prima donna.
Did you see, now that we're talking about this, did you see the ridiculous thing that they do now for Taylor Swift when she goes to the games?
No.
They have built a folding wall. And when Taylor Swift is about to emerge where people could see her and photographers might take her picture, they unfold this wall, which is like, I don't know, a dozen panels. Takes two people to unfold it. And then they move the wall while she walks. So you can't look at her and take her picture. Kiss my ass.
Yeah.
Honest to God. You know, you're a public figure in a public place. Can you not smile and be kind?
Maybe engage the fans who've turned you into a billionaire.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. We're not like that. And neither is UP.
No.
Another callback.
And one more thing. People have been asking about the standing by mugs that we're using. We're looking into it. I know our sponsors would like some. And we have had some requests by email who said, can we get standing by anything? We're gauging demand because these things you have to order them, and if you order one, they're $1,000. If you order 10, it's a whole thing.
And we don't want Terry's garage to be so full of unsold standing by mugs that he can't put his car in there this winter.
Yeah, and listen, we're new to this, so we don't know if anyone gives a shit, but anyway, we're looking into it. And we'll maybe try and get some out.
We know a handful of people give a shit. We just don't know if enough people give a shit that it's worth our while to do it.
So we're working on it. Now, remember, terryandtedpodcast.com. There's a crawling banner at the top when you go on the website. That will take you right to our YouTube channel. And we would like you to subscribe to that channel. That helps us a lot if you click on the subscribe button when you're watching us on YouTube. And it's easy to find. Like I said, go to the website, click on the crawler, and it takes you right to YouTube. You can also follow us, Terry and Ted Podcast, on Facebook. Ted manages that. I rarely post anything on that, but you always post on that, Ted. You're very, Ted's our social media guy.
Yeah, well, I do the best I can for a gentleman of my advanced years.
Terry and Ted Podcast on Facebook and Instagram and also X, if you're so inclined. And apparently it helps if you leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, because it helps us and other people discover the podcast and then can say things like, you suck.
Or you can go straight to Terry's Facebook page and tell him he sucks.
There you go. Okay. Thank you for checking us out. Our thanks to Matthew for producing the show this week. And I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next week. We'll do another one next week. You'll see it'll be good.
All right, sir.
Standing by. The Terry and Ted Podcast is hosted by Terry DeMonte and Ted Bird and is brought to you by the UPS Store Canada. The executive producer of Standing By is Jessica Dion.